Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to give this a few minutes. If you give us a few more moments, I'm Rachel Lieberman. I am a director here at the Celiac Disease Center, and I am so excited that you guys are joining us on this Saturday. And if you give us just a few more minutes, we're going to let other people join. I do want to let everyone know this session is being recorded, so you can reference back. And we also always want to have this available for people who can't join us the entire time. So we're just going to give this a few minutes. But some housekeeping, please use the chat to ask any questions you might have today during our session. And we will be trying to get to any questions you might have. And just a reminder, this is our Bento Box live cooking demo with Lindsay Yakel, our educational director here at the Celiac Disease Center. And we are so excited to have her guiding us this morning. I know this is a tricky time of year with back to school. We're all always thinking things to pack. We have lots of picnics and enjoying the fall. We still have a lot of summer left, I like to say, to keep. And so these are going to be awesome ideas to pack fun bento boxes. So we hope that some of you have grabbed some items to go along with Lindsay as she builds the bento boxes. But Lindsay, I think actually I'd love to get started. I want to be respectful. It's a Saturday. So once again, everyone, if you just joined, I'm Rachel Lieberman. I'm a director here at the Celiac Disease Center. We are so excited to have you join us. We really hope that you are ready for a fun morning. I am joined and will be led today by Lindsay Yakel, who is our educational director here at the Celiac Disease Center. And we are excited to have more programs like this, but I want to encourage people to once again, please use the chat for any questions you might have. And Lindsay will be taking us along. I'll be interjecting and having conversation with all of you, but I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay, who's going to guide us today. And we are just so excited to have all of you. And I love seeing some of these faces. And I just want to remind everyone today is being recorded. Lindsay, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. As Rachel said, we're here to talk about bento boxes, how to build a bento box that's nutritionally, adequate and it meets everybody's needs and is, of course, gluten-free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build 2 bento boxes today, and then we're going to talk about lots of other options and all of those kind of things. If you don't know what a bento box is, I guess I should start there. This is a bento box. This is just one of many. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them in a lot of natural food stores, health food stores, places like that. This one is this. They're always separated into different compartments and typically come with silverware. So it's kind of everything you need in one. This comes with a little foldable fork and a little compartment to keep it in. And then it also has this little container where you can put sauces, dips, things that are a little bit more liquid in there. So that's the idea of a bento box. Bento boxes usually consist of a protein of some sort, vegetable, fruit, maybe a dessert or a snack, and those kind of things. And I did send out an email to everyone before this with lots of different ideas of things that fit in those categories, as well as a couple of links to some websites that I thought were good and helpful with recipes and ideas on them. So that was sent out to everybody except those that maybe registered today. If you registered today, then I'll send those after on Monday probably. So anyhow, lots of helpful tips in there. And so we'll get started and we'll put together one of the 2 bento boxes that I have in mind today. But again, there's a million different ways to do this. So there's really no wrong answer as long as you're getting a well-rounded amount of things. So we're going to start with the first one, which is, for me, I decided to do hard-boiled eggs for my protein. So I have 2 hard-boiled eggs. If you're doing this for kids, you maybe need less, maybe only 1 hard-boiled egg. You decide based on your kid's needs, how much they can eat and that kind of thing. So those go in one of the compartments. So that's a protein. And then also for
And,
this
and
one,
Lindsay, I'm going to pause you for a second. Does anyone want to share what other proteins they have for their bento box if they have ingredients today? Does anyone have anything that they are going to use as their protein? We can say it in the chat, or you could take yourself off mute and share. Not yet. Okay, sorry, Lindsay. We'll keep going, but I definitely want to see. Yes, I want to see what everyone else, if you brought stuff to do for the bento box, I'd love for you to share at some point. So go ahead, Lindsay.
Sure. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is my fruit. And for that, I chose an apple. Basically, I'm just going to cut that into wedges. And again, it's whatever amount you feel is best for your child, what they'll actually eat. But for me, I would typically do no less than a half of an apple, maybe a full one. So the other thing that's a little bit of a trick here is if you take your apple and you sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on it, that helps it to not turn brown. That cinnamon is really good for stopping the browning process. So we just sprinkle a little bit on there, and that'll help them stay nice until they get to their lunch at school. I'm gonna do this other half. Anybody interested in sharing anything that they are putting in their bento boxes at this point? I know it's early and everybody's trying to wake up.
Lindsay, I like to do this with for my kids still, you guys. I have high schoolers and they still like me to help make their lunch. And so I love to do like a turkey roll up. I love to like roll turkey with sometimes even like a cucumber in the center with like cream cheese or cheese. They love that. But someone asked a great question that how long are eggs safe without refrigeration? Or do bento boxes come with space for ice packs, Lindsay?
So actually what I would do is they should be refrigerated once they've been boiled like this. You'll hear different things from different people about whether eggs need refrigerated in general. Other countries don't refrigerate their eggs at all, ever. Here in the United States, we do refrigerate our eggs. But what typically happens with the bento box, once you have this, then what I would suggest is you get a little ice pack, a frozen, they make them specifically for lunch bags, little flat frozen ice pack. And I would put that right on the top or the bottom, and then put it into the lunch bag. And so it will stay cold then. The bento boxes don't typically come with the ice pack. You have to get that separate. But that's what I would do. Then whatever you put in here, if it needs to be cold, it's nice and safe because you got that ice pack in there with it.
So does anyone have a favorite fruit they like to put in their lunches or bento boxes? What do you guys think? Do you like strawberries, grapes, apples like Lindsay? I loved the cinnamon idea.
It's a little trick. Okay, so I'll continue moving on. Along with this, I also want to do some carrots for my vegetables. So I already have just some baby carrots that I bought, easy. Don't need to do anything with them. Obviously, you could buy full-size carrots, if you prefer. I just happen to have some baby carrots here ready. This one. And again, I've got kind of a compartment for everything here, and we're just putting in the amount that we think either you'll eat yourself or your child will eat or whatever.
And Lindsay, can you tilt the bento box so people could see maybe inside? And people gave some awesome ideas of mandarin oranges and blackberries and watermelon, dragon fruit, strawberries, lots of great fruit ideas. And if it's so you guys can see, that's kind of where her bento box is right now.
Yeah, so the protein one, the fruit in one, the carrots are in that one. Now I like my carrots with some dip. So I have this little container in the middle of my bento box that I showed earlier, and I'm going to put just a little, you could do lots of different things, but I have a tzatziki sauce here, something that I like. But you could do hummus, or you could do ranch dressing, or you could do whatever you like your carrots dipped in, or skim it. You don't have to do anything. So that's that. Little lid for that, so it doesn't leak inside the container. So now you can see it's still the same. I just filled this middle one. The only thing left for me on this box is some sort of a little snack or cracker or dessert or something like that. And I like to do something that has a little bit of a crunch. That's just my preference. So I just chose to do popcorn. I don't know if any of you are familiar with popcorn. They're certified gluten-free, most of them. And so I like those. I'm putting those in my last compartment. What snacks does everybody like? I know everybody always has opinions on snacks, fruits and vegetables.
I want to hear, what are you into for your snacks? What's a favorite? You guys can take yourselves off mute and say it, or we can put it in the chat. It's up to you. But I see some cute faces on here. Do you want to maybe share what some of your favorite things are?
Popcorners.
Popcorners too. Yeah.
Just like Lindsay. That's awesome. Tortilla chips. I see Pirate Booty. Pirate Booty's awesome.
Yes.
My kids are old and they still like Pirate's Booty. These are great. Oh, Quinn's pretzels. Awesome. What about sweets? Lindsay, I'm a sweet person. I'm not a crunchy person. So what are some great, like if you want something, I see someone said Annie's granola bar, but what are some other suggestions for like something sweet? If we want something sweet in the box.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking
you. Sorry. Sweet. I would say maybe little squares of chocolate. You can get some sort of whatever kind of chocolate bar that you like. You can break it up into some squares, put that in. Maybe some chocolate chips, just a few chocolate chips in there, or a couple of M&Ms, or those kind of things are always great to put a couple of those into a bento box for a little sweet treat.
Oh, I love these ideas. Someone said to take the Glutino chocolate covered pretzels. That's a good idea. Dove chocolate square. Happy birthday granola by Fairlife. Gluten-free Oreos. We love the ideas, everybody. So Lindsay, while everyone's sharing their ideas in the chat, can you walk over to us with your bento box so people could see a close-up of it, what it looks like? Just so we could see how delicious. Caramel corn. Oh, I like these ideas. These look awesome.
So can you see?
Yes, we can see.
That's the box all closed up, all put together, and it has little latches the whole way around, which makes it really secure so things don't spill. And it sort of seals in each individual compartment, the lid does, so they don't run into each other in the compartments either. So then inside, we have this. So the popcorners, carrots, our boiled eggs, apples and cinnamon, and then my sauce for my carrots is in this little middle one.
Okay.
You see it all right?
We can. Can everyone see? Oh, yes. Do you want to say something? And someone's asking what brand your bento box is, Lindsay.
I had a feeling I would get that question. So what I'll do is I'll follow up with an email after with the link right to this bento box. I got it on Amazon. I'll send you all the links so that you can get them too, if you're interested.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, that looks awesome. So has anyone been making any snacks while we're going along or packing their own that they want to show in their camera?
That'd be fun.
What do you guys think? No? Holding up a bag of your favorite snack or what you want to put in your lunch today? And if not, what we're going to do is make another variety of bento box, but I want to refer back. Lindsay had given a bunch of ideas for proteins in her upfront email, and it could be everything from egg muffins, falafel, rotisserie chicken, little sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly. You could use sun butter if your school is not free, which I love that suggestion. And there's ham and cheese, any kind of roll up you would like, hummus, bean dip, yogurt, cottage cheese. cheese and crackers. So there's a ton of ideas here in this follow-up email. And the egg muffins, we have a question, Lindsay. If you make the egg muffins, are you eating them cold?
Yeah, I do actually. So you obviously you cook them in little muffin pans. The silicone ones work really nice if you happen to have those. You could do them in any, but those silicone ones, they pop out really nice.
Yeah.
And then yeah, by the time you get to school when you're having lunch, if this is somebody for school, it would be not ice cold, but cold enough because of the ice pack to be safe. So you're looking at closer to maybe not quite room temperature, maybe a little cooler than that, but around there. And yeah, they're good. They're very good. You put a little vegetable in there, maybe a little cheese. They're delicious. And again, really easy. You could make a week's worth of them, on a Sunday, and then just eat them all week, pop them into your lunch, and good to go. So nice, easy thing to get together for on a weekend in advance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, so I only have one bento box, so I had to clean it out to get ready for the next one we're gonna put together. All right. Okay. Also, while I'm at it, just a little tip: if you have a cutting board like this, if you put like a wet paper towel or a wet cloth underneath, it doesn't slide when you're using it. I always like to give that tip because most people don't know that makes such a big difference. If it's not on there, it slides all over. When it's on there, it goes nowhere. So just a little tip for you.
And someone gave a great suggestion of frozen yogurt tubes or ants on a log, which is like the celery and peanut butter with raisins.
Yeah, great ideas. All very good. Okay, and the yogurt is nice because it's also typically pretty high in protein. So that's another source of protein, which I think is really important for kids, for everybody to have enough protein in their diet. So anyhow, okay, so our next one, we're gonna do cheese and pepperoni. Both are a source of protein, both fall into that protein category, because we're trying to get at least one thing from each of the categories: the protein, fruit, vegetable, and then some sort of a snack or treat. I think that's kind of what makes the bento box fun, and a little bit from each of the categories.
Nice.
All right, so cheese, and I'm just doing provolone slices and pepperoni. You could do any kind of cheese, obviously. You could do ham, turkey, chicken, or like a deli.
Oops. If we could just, there we go. Okay, go ahead, Lindsay.
Well, that's all right. So I'm just cutting them up into nice little sizes. And if you want to get cute with it, you can certainly do that. You can do one of these kind of every other cheese and pepperoni back and forth, and then it looks really cute. And I think a lot of times with kids, the cuter things look, the more they're interested, the more fun it is for them. So we just sort of layer those in. And again, it's all about how much you think your child can eat. Or yourself, if you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah. Kind of going along the theme of what you're cutting up. Lindsay, someone gave a great suggestion. Lunchables are a big thing, but there are gluten-free. Someone was asking for a gluten-free pizza Lunchable. So some people have made their own crust or use char and cookie circle cutouts for the pizza crust and kind of put the pizza sauce and cheese. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I also know that my daughter, at least when she was younger, she liked a half of an English muffin, a gluten-free English muffin. And then we could put all the toppings for it in her lunch. So she'd have like the little container that goes in here. We put the sauce in there, and then the cheese and the pepperoni. But she would build that right on an English muffin. So that's an option too. And I know you also can find, there's one brand that I know of that makes a gluten-free pita. So you could do something like that too. You could use that as kind of the base for your pizza as well. That would be good.
And
So
does
there
anyone
I have,
have suggestions, Lindsay? You said English muffins. Is there a brand, some different brands that have gluten-free English muffins that you suggest?
sure, Glutino has one. I have to try and think. I know my daughter always eats Glutino. I think that Char has an English muffin, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Actually, the people on there have better answers than I do, just because I always got my daughter the Glutino ones, but I know there's other brands. Does anybody there know the
Oh,
answers?
sorry. Glutino is definitely looks like it's a popular brand in the chat. And Trader
Yeah, I
Joe's, it
know.
sounds like, makes one too.
Yeah, I know there's others out there, but again, because I always have bought the Glutino, I'm just not positive what the other brands are, and I hate to say for sure, but I'm not sure. Okay, so that's our cheese and pepperoni, and then with this one, I wanted to do blueberries. So we're gonna put some blueberries in one of the compartments, and blueberries are small, and you can eat quite a few of those. Those in there. And then this one, I also, for my vegetable, because it is, I'm putting pickles in. Pickles are a vegetable. If you like pickles, or you have a child that really likes pickles, they're great in a box, in a bento box. Sprinkle some pickles in this one.
And I love, Lindsay, you gave some other suggestions that weren't mentioned in the chat earlier, but even thinking applesauce or cherries, mango, tofu, even in that section where obviously berries and other ideas as well. But I think for cut up fruit, you can do a variety of fruits, but I liked that there were some other ideas here as well. Even applesauce, depending on, or mandarin oranges, something like that, that depending on what's in season.
And applesauce, it is a fruit. It's puree, but it's a fruit.
Yeah.
You can get one of the ones. I personally like the ones that are unsweetened. So you can get applesauce in the little containers or jars that is either sweetened or unsweetened. I personally find, and my kids have always agreed, that the unsweetened one was sweet enough because apples are so sweet on their own. But if your kids need a little bit of more sweetener, then you can get the sweetest one. But you have those options with applesauce, and I think sometimes people don't realize that there are those options. So worth mentioning that you can do it that way too. This one, I'm actually going to do some tortilla chips. A kind of crunchy snack. And then the last thing I'm going to put in this one is actually some hummus. I like to dip my tortilla chips in hummus. Hummus is another great source of protein. This one I feel like was a little bit lower in protein because it was just the pepperoni and cheese. So I think a little hummus to bump up that protein amount and dip my tortilla chips in is perfect. So that's it for this bento box. We've got our protein, our crunch, our vegetable, and our fruit. And I'm going to show you that one.
Lindsay, do you want to walk around your counter and maybe show us a close up? I always like to see them up close.
Yeah, so there it is. That's our pepperoni and cheese. We've got a couple layers of the pepperoni and cheese there. Again, you put in as much as you think your child needs. Blueberries, pickles, tortilla chips, and then the hummus in there.
That's awesome. Does anyone else, I know that you also have suggestions for like roasted veggies, Lindsay, or even what about a salad in this? How would you, or I'm just looking at like your vegetable area, like could you do salads or things like that as well?
Yeah, what's important to know is this is this type of bento box, but they make others that are maybe just a round container with a nice feeling lid that goes on it like this, but it might just be round. So that might be what you want to get for a salad if you want to do that. And then those usually come with the small little container like this one that you can put the dressing in. So you put the dressing in the little container, you put all your salad ingredients in the round one, set your dressing right inside, put the lid on, and then once it's lunchtime, you open it up, pour the dressing on, and actually, I know a lot of people know this already, but a nice trick is pour the dressing on, put the lid back on, seal it tight, and then shake it.
Yeah.
That spreads the dressing all around, and then open it back up, and it's ready to eat. So you can do that where you just put all the salad in the container, dressing, in its own little container.
Yeah.
But they make different bento boxes. This one's all separated into different compartments. That's more of a salad container that's just one round. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. So what other questions or suggestions, even in the chat, do you guys have for Lindsay, as she has just demonstrated 2 of our bento boxes? How do you guys, does anyone have any questions for her directly or suggestions that work for yourself? I saw mini cucumbers and even the toddler packs of applesauce, I think are a great idea. Those squeeze tubes.
One question I have is, how do you suggest warming them up? I know our daughter has access to a microwave, but it's shared. And so she said some of the kids will just put their food directly on the thing to warm up. And so how do you prevent like cross-contamination in that?
So with microwaves, there's not air blowing, so things aren't being spread around. So typically what I would say is she could use the container that, make sure you get a microwave safe container, and she actually can put it in the microwave without, it's not, none of the food would be touching. So she would be safe in a microwave. Convection ovens are different. Convection ovens do blow air, so things can get contaminated in a convection oven, but microwaves, we typically say, are safe. Now, if you're there and you see the microwave and it looks like nobody ever cleans it, maybe that's a little bit more of a risk, if there's stuff on top that could fall in or whatever. But typically, if it's a maintained microwave that gets cleaned out regularly and all of that, they're pretty safe as long as you're using, it's in a container in there. That should be okay.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have other questions for Lindsay?
Did anybody make a bento box while I was making mine?
That they want to show their final product?
We have one, and I just spilled it, but that's okay. It had cantaloupe in it
Yum.
and just some ham and cheese, and then almond crackers. And then I had ranch in my middle section and some just veggies they can dip in it.
Nice. That's a great one.
That's awesome. And I feel like this time of year, we're back to packing lunches and when you're going for sports and packing like heavy snacks if kids are heading to like tournaments and things like that. So hopefully these are good ideas, not just for lunch, but also like heavy snacks when kids are like heading out. Lindsay, someone's asking, do you have a egg muffin recipe?
I do, yeah. I can definitely send some of those in the follow-up as well. So I'll find at least one recipe and I can send it, and then also the link to the bento box. No problem.
Does anyone else, Heidi, I appreciate you showing your snack box. Did anyone else make something together to share with us and share with everyone? I feel like it's always good to get ideas from other people. That's the best part of these things, are different brands and ideas that work for you. Let's see. Well, what I'd love is, Lindsay, you gave us some great ideas. It sounds like people want a link to our your bento box, and just where we could find those on Amazon. And egg muffin recipes, and we will reattach all of our Lindsay's ideas for each kind of section of like fruits, vegetables, proteins. And I think the biggest thing that I always think about is making sure the kids do have like enough protein in there and enough like fruits and vegetables, but you still need that crunch or something sweet. And I think there are tons of ideas here, but we are here if anyone has questions or want to share ideas. We're here for everybody. But it's this was an awesome morning to share with all of you, and I appreciate everyone's time. And we will have a recording of this if you want to jot back and watch anything Lindsay was doing, but we will definitely send a ton of follow-up for all of you. So
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, we are planning to do a couple of these live events with the cooking idea throughout the year. So this is our first live one. Every month I do some sort of a cooking event. A lot of them are pre-recorded, but maybe about 4 times a year we'll do live ones like this. Right now it looks like our next one will probably be in December, and we might do some cutout cookies. So look for that in December. We'll have more information coming out about it though too before then.
yes, we're trying to up our game in the cooking world. We're so lucky that Lindsay is with us, and she is a chef by trade as well, and obviously lives with celiac disease herself. And so I feel like has a plethora of ideas and information to share with all of you. So these tips are amazing. And I just am so appreciative that everyone came on, and we'd love to always get the kids involved when they want to, and it's fun to see their faces on camera. So thank you guys so very much. This was an awesome way to spend our morning. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.